Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors Dynasty. Apologies for my week-long hiatus. Madden 26 tilted me pretty hard and I got really burnt out on football video games in general and decided to take a week where I just wasn't playing at all. But now we're back. The upload schedule will be back in action, so you can expect the Rainbow Warriors on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Now let's get into this episode, shall we? The Rainbow Warriors are coming off of a 41-31 loss to the Washington Huskies, a game where the offense really couldn't get it going and the defense struggled as well. We only forced one incompletion the entire game. We're coming off a bye week now, and we will face the Utah Utes at home, a team that we've beaten in the last couple of seasons, and also a team that has not done super well in the recruiting department. But in today's game, they are without their starting quarterback in Moses Tucker, and that is a significant loss for this team. Aries Buck will be the starter today. And while his accuracies are decent, Moses Tucker was definitely one of the bright spots of this offense. At halfback, they have Gabriel Grubb and Pat York, and their top wideout is Lee Arma. And then it's a solid offensive line. To be honest, this team is pretty scary. I just wonder how much they can keep performing with Aries Buck in at quarterback. So now the question for the Rainbow Warriors is, can we bounce back from a loss? I feel like there will be this added pressure on this first game back from our first loss on the season, and we need to prove we can persevere. First and 10 from the 25, the Bows will get the football first. Stepping up is Kevin Tryon. He's going to slide down with a pickup of 6. One thing Washington did better than most other teams is containing the scrambling ability of Kevin Tryon, as Matthew Boss gets a 17-yard pickup to start his day. At the 47, Demarius Eddy checks in. Throw is caught by Wilbur right behind a defender. Now it's a second down and short. Tryon will hand to Boss, spins out one, gets close to a first. So now it's a 3rd and 1 from the 43. Tryon back to pass, going for Wilbur. It is incomplete, tipped away. And Hawaii will punt. So now we'll get to see what the backup quarterback, Aries Buck, has in store for us today, as Buck will hand this off. A little bit of a running lane up the middle to pick up 3 for Gabriel Grubb. 2nd and 7, as this is apparently another offense that works with tempo. Buck will hand it off to Grubb again. Pancake block on DeMarcus Doss. It's 3rd and short. Play flips sides of the field. 3rd and 2. Delayed handoff. No, it's a throw, and it's too tall for the wideout. Broken up, intended for Lee Arma. First down, Rainbow Warriors. Back to pass again, and Tryon will get this to Matthew Boss for 6. On 2nd and 4 from the 40, it's a handoff to Boss, who is getting tackled by Josh Carrera. That'll make it a 3rd and inches. Tryon back to pass, scrambling, and he's going to take off. He's got running room and a blocker downfield. He will slide down at the enemy 30. 7 minutes left to go in the first. Tryon back to pass again. And going to fire outside for Matthew Boss. Another solid pickup of 5. Demarius Eddy into the game. We're out of the pistol with 2 tight ends to the left. And that's where Eddy is headed, but will only pick up 2. 3rd and 3. Tryon throwing. He's got Matthew Boss. Easy first down. Can Boss punch it in? He's a yard short. 1st and goal at the 1-yard line after the big pickup for Matthew Boss. 1st and goal from the 1. Somebody jumped. Oh, it's on us. It's a false start on Ofisa Gupta. Backs us up to the 6. 1st and goal. Handoff Demarius Eddy, and wide open field to the outside. Touchdown Rainbows. Demarius Eddy will cap off a drive that was helped a lot by Matthew Boss. And Hawaii is the team that strikes first. 7-0. About 5 minutes left to be played in the first quarter. Buck will go to the air, and down he goes. Fetu Silatolu with the sack. 2nd and 16 after the big time loss. Play action, Buck, corner. This is caught. I think that's Arma. It is. And they hurry it to the line for a 3rd down and 3. And Buck under some pressure again. Over the middle, it's broken up by Emmanuel Tapp at the very last moment. And Utah will go 3 and out again. Utah is a team where in the last couple of recruiting classes, when I've checked, they have not been very good. I think they had one of the worst, if not the worst, recruiting class in this past offseason. So they're just a team that has not kept up super well with recruiting. They were definitely a much better team than us when this series started. A dump off to Demarius Eddy on the screen. He will get the first down from the 43. Back to pass is Tryon. Gets it to Gupta. Running lane for Ofisa Gupta. He doesn't have the best speed, but he's dragged down at the 23. First down, Hawaii. Second down and 10. Tryon, play action. Throwing, wants Wilbur. Good ball from Tryon, but Wilbur cannot hold on. It was honestly really solid coverage, but normally Wilbur comes down with those ones. Now it's a 3rd and 10. Tryon gonna scramble here to the left. And he's going to throw for Wilbur, who tiptoes the sidelines to make the catch of the 3. Second and goal from the 3. Matthew Boss going to get the carry. He's not even close. And now Jaquan Hepburn is injured. Third and goal from the 2. Herrera in motion. Throw from Tryon. Corner in zone. In and out of the hands of Kiaris Burrow. Incomplete. Fourth and goal. The OC's calling a play from the 2. More like the 2.5. Tryon. Play action, scrambling, throwing over the head of Randy Wilbur, incomplete. But this does leave the Utah Utes in a tight situation. From about the 2.5, Buck out of his own end zone. He's gonna keep it, and he will take a big hit from Tap, a pickup of 2 though. 2nd and 8, handoff Grubb. He'll get 3, it's 3rd and 5. From the 7. Number 7, Aries Buck, the backup quarterback. Back to pass, throw is completed. Broken tackle and into some open space. That is a first down for Utah, and a big one at that. They've got trips way wide to the left here on the 1st and 10 from the 28. First down of the day for the Utes, by the way, as this is caught by Arma, but not much there. 2nd and 9. Buck throws, caught by Arma, and I mean, you just got to give him a jump ball. Out of the pistol now, and it's a handoff to Grubb. Good tackle from Emmanuel Tap, no gain. They hurry it up as always. 2nd and 10 from the 45. Buck throws. This is caught, broken tackle. Good blocking up the sideline results in a first. Best drive so far for Utah, and it started back at their own 2. This could be the final play of the first quarter. Buck brings his tight end in motion, and this will be the final play of the first quarter. Fetu Silatolu with more pressure, and that will end the first. 2nd down from the 42. Tight end Jesus Chavez, man in motion. And it's play action. Throwing is Buck. It's overthrown, and pretty lucky that's not picked. Utasi was in the area. Now it's 3rd down and 10 from the 42. Buck back to pass. Going to be under some pressure. Gets this off to Arma. Good wrap up from Jawan Soliday. But on 4th and 3, they're keeping the offense on the field. I think I can kind of understand why in that sort of no man's land. Out of the pistol. It's a handoff, and they're going to get the first. There was a crazy block over the middle I want to take a look at. Oh my God. DeMarcus Doss was filling his lane perfectly. That single block right there is what gets the first down. That's crazy. 1st and 10 from the Hawaii 30. Buck with so much time gets it to Arma, who's been feasting. He breaks 2 tackles and breaks the plane for 6. Touchdown, Utah. Lee Arma, proven why he's one of the top wideouts in the Pac-12. Tie football game, kind of regretting not just taking the field goal now. 1st and 10, handoff to Matthew Boss. What speed from Matthew Boss. On 2nd and 2, Tryon hands to Demarius Eddy. And a nice burst of speed for Eddy gets him to about the 50. First down from our own 49. Tryon gonna scramble. And he's going to take off for 6. 2nd and 4. More play action. Tryon scrambling, heaving it deep, in zone, touchdown. Darren Finger, but Tryon crossed the line of scrimmage. I think he was just a yard in front of it. So an illegal forward pass, and now it's 3rd down and 8. Out of the shotgun. Tryon going Finger's way again, and Darren Finger has it swatted away. 4th down. Really good punt by Max Harvin. Goes out of bounds at the 3. Utah already drove 98 yards. We're going to ask him to do it again, basically, except 1 yard closer. But Grubb on a big carry gets them to safety immediately. All the way up to the 21. Utah continuing with tempo. Worked really well, obviously, on that last drive. 8 minutes left to go in the half. A 7-7 tie here in Honolulu. Open is Arma. The throw's a bit out in front. Arma makes the grab. That play obviously could have been a lot more had that ball not been so far out in front of Lee Arma. On the 31, Buck dumps this off to his tight end, who will be wrapped up at the 36. You've got Arma one-on-one with Pears on the left side. If he continues to feast, we may change some cornerback matchups. He's been mostly against Jawan Soliday so far today, but it doesn't matter here as it's Gabriel Grubb on the reception with another Utah Utes first down. Got a very spread out formation here. Most of the receivers to the right side. Handoff Grubb, and up the middle, there's nobody home. Grubb brought down at the 30, and Afa Tuikolovatu is injured. Suddenly the offense is clicking for Utah. Couldn't do anything on the first couple of drives. Now we can't do anything to stop it. Grubb is brought down in the backfield by O'Keefe. Ends up being a pickup of 1. 7 minutes left to go. Man in motion is Chavez. And then it's a handoff to Grubb. Jukes out 1. He's got a first down and a bit more to the 15. Where has our defense gone? 1st and 10 from the 15. Buck back to pass and finds Arma, who is just short of the end zone. 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Buck with Grubb in the backfield. Grubb will get the carry. Grubb is wrapped up. Droogsma the first to meet it. Best red zone defense in college football a year ago. Can we keep that title this season? Grubb breaks the tackle and he's in for 6. Touchdown Utah. And they will take a 1-score lead about halfway through the second. 14-7 for the Utes. Handoff Boss, and he will pick up 2. On 2nd and 8, scrambling now is Tryon, throwing on the run for Kiaris Burrow. First down. From the 39 now, Tryon scrambling immediately, throwing off balance for Ofisa Gupta, who's got another pickup of about 16. 4 minutes left to go in the half. Tryon will continue to the air again. He's got an open man, and it's Randy Wilbur with the grab to the 22. 1st and 10. 3 minutes and some change left in the half. Handoff Matthew Boss, and he runs over 1 defender, brought down at the 8. 2nd and goal. More play action. Tryon scrambling, throwing, caught. Gupta, touchdown, Rainbow Warriors. What a quick drive put together by Kevin Tryon and company. With the PAT will be all knotted up at 14. 1st and 10 Utah. Last 2 drives have been very easy for the Utes. Quick throw up the seam, miscommunication on the timing there. 2nd and 10. Throw to the outside on a wide receiver screen is going to pick up 3. That makes it a 3rd and 3. Buck with time overthrows Arma, who probably would have caught it. A really bad kick from the Utah punter. Good starting field position for the Bows. Handoff Boss tries to cut it back, but only gets 2. 2 minutes left in the half. It's 2nd down and 8. Tryon, quick dump off to Matthew Boss will give an easy first down. From the 45, Tryon to throw again. Wide open is Randy Wilbur. Hits a spin move, but it didn't fool anybody. 2nd and 6. Tryon scrambling. He's going to take the dump off to Carrera, who is by himself up the sideline. He's the slowest man on the field, I think, though. Pushed out of bounds at the 6. Known as a blocker, just found himself by himself. 1st and goal from the 6. Will be a carry for Matthew Boss, and the Boss man will punch it in. Touchdown, Rainbow Warriors. And Hawaii with 14 unanswered pending the PAT. So the Hawaii offense has found a little bit of a rhythm now. Looking for the defense to do the same. Did get a stop last time, but I think that was mostly due to a miss by Aries Buck as he gets this out to Arma. Breaks the first tackle, but is brought down with a pickup of about 8. Arma, for the most part, is going to be followed by Pears for the remainder of the day. Buck throwing and incomplete. It was intended for Arma. No, excuse me. Putasi will be following Arma. Pears will be following Lacumbo, as this is a first down carry for the halfback Grubb. From the 36, Buck throws completed to Arma, but not much room there. 2nd down. About 45 seconds left. 2nd and 5. Buck with all kinds of time finds his man over the middle. It's Lacumbo. Timeout used by Utah. We've gone more and more in demand coverage this year, and I think a big part of that is the lack of a pass rush. as Buck will throw and misses his man. Second down from the 39. Buck over the middle. This is caught, and it's going to be inches shy of the first. They are not hurrying it to the line. So much time just ticked away for the Utah Utes. They have 8 seconds left. Throw is dropped, and now with 6 seconds, they're going to bring on the kicker. They still had a timeout left. Some clock mismanagement there from the Utah Utes. Kick from the left hash on its way, and it's gonna miss wide to the left. If that last pass isn't dropped, I think that they nail the 3. Instead, it's a miss. And do we try a Hail Mary before heading to halftime? Maybe we do. Tryon gonna step up, gonna take off, and he's just gonna slide down. To halftime we go. Rainbow Warriors up a score. Utah leaving some valuable points on the board. Could have been a nice momentum swing as well, because they get the football here to start the second half. So imagine it's 21-17, a touchdown here would have taken the lead. Now the best they can do is tie, as this is caught for a first down pickup. Still going with tempo. They're committed to it. And Buck will hand it off to Grubb. He's brought down by Doss, 1 yard. On 2nd and 9, Buck back to throw. No pressure to speak of. Dumps this off to his tight end, Chavez. Brought down at the 45. It's a 3rd and 4. From the 45, throw is caught by Arma. Brought down by Killings at the 46. 11 minutes left to go in the 3rd. Buck, play action under some pressure, and down he goes. I believe that is Afa Tuikolovatu. Exited with an injury. Now he gets his. 2nd and 16 after the loss. Buck, more play action. Crazy hold on Killings there. I don't know if you saw that on the line of scrimmage. Ball falls incomplete anyway, and now it's a 3rd and 16 coming up. From the 47, just a 4-man rush. Flag is down. Buck throwing. It is incomplete. Intended for Arma. Looks like this was a holding penalty most likely, which we will, of course, decline. 4th down. New drive starts at our own 22. Hawaii up a score, looking to add on to that. Matthew Boss, the outside running lane for Matthew Boss. Stiff arms one as he heads out of bounds at the 37. Clifton Cummins has made his way into the game. From the 37, he will get the carry. He will lose 3. 2nd down. Now Eddie is into the game. Kevin Tryon gonna step up, gonna take off. A lot of open space. Easy first down for Tryon. He slides down at the 46. 1st and 10. Kevin Tryon. Throwing over the middle, a little bit of a risky throw, caught by Kiaris Burrow. 2nd and 5, Tryon. Back to pass again, over the middle, wants Wilbur, it's overthrown. 3rd down and 5. Tryon throws, it is overthrown, or did Finger never see it? Either way, it's an interception for Utah, and they will get the football deep in Hawaii territory at the 33. Oftentimes, Darren Finger has been my go-to guy in these 3rd down situations. Yeah, that's just a miss from Kevin Tryon. From my angle, it looked like it was right over Finger's helmet, but it's off to the side. Finger didn't put in a lot of effort, obviously. But that is a Tryon miss. A Tryon miss that may get Utah back into this football game if they can capitalize on the good field position. Buck, plenty of time. Overthrows nearly the same play, except ours didn't get picked off. 2nd and 10. And it's a keeper for Buck, who is not a good scrambler. He fumbles it. It is recovered by Utah. 3rd down and 12 to go. Buck, one tight end in the formation. He's actually going to hand this off to Grubb, nearly breaking away. Good tackle by Cole Setterstrom. And they will settle for 3. This is about 2 yards closer than the one he missed earlier, but still from the left hash. This one is going to be good. So it is 21-17 for the Bows. So good damage control by the defense. Need Kevin Tryon to keep this football safe. 1st and 10 from the 25. Matthew Boss gets the carry up the middle. The Bossman has a 1st down easily, and he's up to the 46. It's a very good chance we have 2,000-yard rushers this season in Matthew Boss and Kevin Tryon. As Tryon will go to the air. He's got a man. It is Kiaris Burrow. He can't hold on through the contact. 2nd and 10 from the 46. Tryon gets this off to Boss. Switches hands, will stiff arm one as he gets the first down. From the 44 now, Tryon, play action. Wide open is Carrera. Ball's a bit behind him. Ends up as an incompletion. Now it is 2nd down and 10. At the Utah 44, Tryon hands off Boss. Big running lane, Matthew Boss runs over one. Goes down at the 27, he's up over 100. From the 27, Tryon back to pass again. Open man, it's Kearis Burrow with another first down. From the 15, blitz is sent. Tryon gonna step up, he's gonna take off. Kevin Tryon in for 6. Touchdown Hawaii. Kevin Tryon putting his body on the line to punch that one in, and it gives Hawaii a 2-score cushion. By the way, you saw an injury pop up there late in that drive for offensive lineman Prince Quick. Turns out it is an abdominal tear. He's gonna miss some time this season. Pickup of 2 for Utah to start the new drive. Quick, mostly a backup O-lineman, but probably our best backup O-lineman, so very unfortunate to be losing him for an extended period. 3rd down and 4. 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Buck scrambling, throwing. That is caught for a first down. Neither of the 2 Hawaii defenders saw it. That was akin to a back shoulder throw, but it was a front shoulder throw. Very interesting, and it worked for the Utah Utes. From the 42, Buck, quick dump off. This is going to pick up a few, brought down at the 36. So Utah looking to put a scoring drive together on this one. Buck throwing, has a man. It's Arma who beats Soliday in coverage again. And just like that, it is a 1st and goal for the Utah Utes. 3 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. Buck is going to keep it himself, and he's going to be brought down by Mallory at the 11. So it ends up being a loss of 1. They hurry it back to the line again, though, and it's another keeper for Buck, who is not a scrambler, does not have good speed. We're going to call a timeout here. Our defense is gassed. 3rd and goal from the 8. Throw to the outside, completed to Arma, nowhere near the goal line. He missed the kick. It bounced off of both uprights. I have never seen that before. Both uprights and out. That was such a crucial field goal for Utah to stay in this game. That is insane. Talk about a double doink. Off of one upright right to the other. The likelihood of something like this happening has to be insane. So we bring the football out to the 20, 1st and 10 Hawaii, still a 2-score lead. Matthew Boss continuing his great day. Boss was slow to get up after that play, but is still on the football field. On 2nd and inches, Tryon stepping up again, taking off and sliding down. Not much of a slide, more of an awkward dive at the 46. Kevin Tryon has now crossed the century mark on the ground, and it's a 1st and 10 from the 46. He will look to throw, going deep. He wants a man. It is intercepted. Overthrown for Kearis Burrow. Just not the time to be taking risks. But we've got a risk taker QB. Buck back to pass. Plenty of time. All the time in the world, as a matter of fact. Ends up picking up 4 with a dump off to his halfback. They continue with tempo. And it's a throw for Lacumbo. Have not called his name a ton. Had to waste another timeout there as the man in coverage on Lacumbo started sprinting to the opposite side of the field. So only 1 timeout remaining for Hawaii as Buck, with all the time in the world, heaves it deep. It's swatted away by Putasi. Incomplete. Utah is punting it away. 8 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Quick throw from Tryon over the middle for Gupta, and that will end the 3rd. 4th quarter underway. The game in Hawaii's control right now. Matthew Boss will get a carry. He will get close to a first. They call it inches short. For some reason, my brain turned off and I didn't commentate the play, but Matthew Boss did not get it, actually. He was tackled short. Another great kick from Max Harvin. Pins them at the 4. Buck will hand it to Grubb, takes a big hit. He's going to lose a yard. 2nd down from the 3 now. Grubb will get to the outside. He's up the sideline, past the 30, 40, 50. He's going to go the entire way to the 10-5 touchdown. 97-yard carry to the house for Gabriel Grubb. The edge was not set. Grubb did the rest and had the speed to outrun everybody. And they are going for the 2-point conversion here to make it a 3-point game. Handoff, Grubb, tackled down. Great job by the defense. From the 24, a 1st and 10. Going to be looking for some additional points now as Tryon gets this off to Boss while under pressure. 2nd and 8. Tryon hands to Eddie, and he's going to lose yardage. So now it's a 3rd and 11 from the 23. Tryon goes down. Was trying to scramble, but gets brought down from behind. It's a 4th and 16. We have to punt it away here. It also ends up being a great return for Utah. At the 48, a touchdown would take the lead for the Utes. Buck, plenty of time again, as this 4-man rush has just struggled to get home. 2nd and 5. Buck, quick dump off. Tackle is made by Tapp, but it's a 1st down Utah. 8 minutes left in the game. Buck under some pressure from Sila Tolu gets this to Lacombo. 2nd and 1. And it's a keeper for Buck. So much space to the outside. There's a late flag down, probably on Utah. So this one's coming back. It was an illegal block in the back. So that backs Utah up to the 18. Still a fresh set of downs, though. Buck will hand this off to Grubb. He's brought down at the 15. 2nd and 7. Buck with time over the middle. It's intercepted. How did we pick that one off? It's Benzinger with the pick. Hawaii will take over. What a huge interception. An off-balance throw. It looks like it just goes through the hands of Lacombo, and Benzinger comes up with it. That is a game-defining interception. 1st and 10 from the 8. Tryon hands to Boss, and he's got a decent carry up the middle. From our own 15, 2nd and 3. Demarius Eddy is in the game. Blocking is not there. 3rd down. 3rd down, 3 to go. Tryon out of the gun. Throwing for Carrera. He actually held on to that. Clutch snag by Carrera will allow us to chew even more clock. 1st and 10 from the 21. Matthew Boss going to pick up a few yards, make it 3. 2nd down and 7. Throw for Demarius Eddy is held on to, but only picks up a yard. 3rd and 6. Tryon over the middle, nearly intercepted. Wanted Gupta. It's incomplete. 4 minutes remaining. 23 to 28. Utah with plenty of time to try to find the end zone. Buck will look to throw and finds his man. It's Lacombo. Comes back to it to pick up 6. Of course, they failed that 2-point conversion earlier. They do have to get into the end zone to take the lead. They cannot tie it here. Down by 5. 3.5 minutes. Good block, and Grubb is into some open field down at the 43. 3.5 minutes. Buck from the gun. Throwing, coming back to it is Arma, but it is short. 2nd down, Grubb still in the backfield. And this is thrown for the tight end. It's only going to pick up about 2 yards. 3rd down. 3rd and 8 here. Throw is incomplete. He didn't see it, but on the left side of the field, Lee Arma had just blown past probably Putasi and had no help over the top. This is a touchdown for Arma, but he never even looked his way. Utah elects to punt. 1st and 10 from the 17. They have all 3 of their timeouts and the 2-minute timeout. Matthew Boss looking to get a couple 1st downs and get his team a victory. 2nd and 4. Handoff Boss, and he falls forward. I'm not sure if they gave him the 1st there. They did not. So it's going to be 3rd and inches from the 26. A significant 3rd and inches. Handoff Demarius Eddy. He gets the 1st down. Last timeout used by the Utes. John Awuzie is into the backfield. Don't see him in the backfield super often. He will get the carry here on 1st down and 10. Picks up 1. Now the 2-minute timeout. A 1st down would officially end the game. 2nd and 9 from the 30. Handoff Matthew Boss, and he will go down with a pickup of 2. It's a 3rd down and 7 from the 33. Out of the shotgun. Tryon goes play action. Stepping up. Tryon scrambles, breaks the tackle, and they call him inches short of the 1st. It is a booth review. Are they reviewing if it was a 1st down? They are. A booth review of the spot of the ball. I have not seen this in either of the 2 college football games. I thought he had it. They marked him short on the field. If they give him the first, it is game over. And they do. The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, a hard-fought victory over a feisty Utah team. That was not easy by any means. Tryon with the scramble for the first will seal the deal. And it's another Pac-12 victory for the Rainbow Warriors. Player of the game is Kevin Tryon. I don't know that it's deserved with the couple of interceptions he had, but he always has a ton of yardage through the air and on the ground. That scramble for the first down was huge to just seal the victory. 28-23 is your final. Feels like that game is a lot closer than it should have been. I feel like that is not an offense we should be allowing that many points to. One thing I think we can all say we are noticing at this point is that anytime a team has like a super elite wide receiver one, we have a tendency to struggle. Now, I think the players are on the team at corner that will eventually be able to shut down those guys. We had a really great CB class this past offseason. But right now, we are just not good enough at DB to keep up with those guys. We have nobody above 90 speed except Chance Kalmalot, who's a 92, but is pretty weak otherwise. 21 for 34, 255, 61% completion percentage, a touchdown and 2 picks for Kevin Tryon. One of the picks, I was just trying to do too much. The other one was just a straight up miss on his part. Running the football, 21 attempts, 145 for Matthew Boss. He also had a touchdown, 10 for 102 for Kevin Tryon with a touchdown. Demarius Eddy had a touchdown. In the receiving game, 6 for 56 for Matthew Boss. 4 for 56 for Wilbur, 4 for 62 and a touchdown for Gupta. Kiaris Burrow got involved, not a single catch for Darren Finger. He did have the touchdown grab in the end zone where we were past the line of scrimmage with Tryon. Despite us probably having the best offense we've had in the series, I feel worse about this team's chances than I did last year. And there's obviously a couple reasons behind that. One is, of course, there's more competition in the Pac-12 this year than there was last year. But also, I worry about our D-line. We cannot get pressure consistently with a 4-man rush against solid offensive lines, and our run defense just hasn't been nearly as good as it has been in seasons past. We're still winning these Pac-12 games, but we've mostly played weaker opponents to this point. I don't know, something about the foundation of this 2030 Hawaii Rainbow Warriors team just does not feel as stable. Now, before we advance the week, quick talk about recruiting. We are, of course, in quite a few different battles and look to probably be losing a few of them. Like, things are going relatively well, but a lot of teams are gaining more influence than us. As for our 3-star gems in Ernest Folkerts and Deion Saunders, we're looking great. Nobody's even realized how good they are yet. Probably not going to be able to land all of our 4 stars. On to week number 9, which is another bye week for us. And speak of the devil and he shall appear. And Fernie Davis commits to TCU after visiting during week 8. So there is one 4-star gone, a wide receiver. I'm going to leave him on the board for now. If we need to remove him, I will. But I like to see how good these players we lose out on are. That does free up 50 hours. Here's how things are going on other players. For Shipman, we are gaining the most influence, but still in 3rd. For Incoom, Utah gained probably a little bit more influence than us, but they might be a bit too far behind. For Kurtz, fortunately, he does not visit with Oregon until week 10. So he may commit to us this week. So it might be just a touch too late for the Ducks. It's going to be close on Nigel Reens. UCLA is gaining ground. We are in the lead on James Plummer, but Colorado appears to be gaining more influence, though that more influence that they gained was with a week 8 visit. We are pretty far in the lead on Maurice Day, but when Alabama is in the mix, as well as Ohio State, you can never feel too safe. Washington is going to start running away with James Avila. We may just want to give up on him sooner rather than later. He visits with Boise State this week. Everyone's already gaining more influence than us. Baylor is taking over on Finau Tong. So I might drop Avila and Tong off the board just because at this point, I don't really think there's a chance. Tong visits with Baylor this week. I mean, I could schedule him for a visit. I just don't think it's going to matter that much based on how much more they are gaining than us and the fact that our hard sell isn't all that good. Tong is a QB. I'm not super worried about not getting a QB in this class. because we have Sam Sativa with that star development. So even when Gay and Tryon both graduate, we've got Sativa probably ready to go after this year, which is his true freshman year, and next year as his redshirt freshman year. He'd probably be starting as a redshirt sophomore, at which point I think he'll be a pretty capable thrower. Of course, you never want to lose out on the 4-star guys, but we can always snag somebody next year because presumably Sativa will just be our starter for a while. I'm gonna go ahead and just back out on James Avila and Finau Tong. I don't know if I'm gonna go after more 4-stars. I've shown you guys before, there's not a lot available. So yeah, what's left is not exactly great. There are a number of receivers. I could go after a couple more in like Rashawn Ham, JJ Lay, Jabu Ferwerda, Ahmad Byrne. I'd love to go after CJ LaBelle, a linebacker, but he's out of Pennsylvania, so he is outside of our range. I find Rashawn Ham interesting because he's a 6'4" gadget guy. I feel like gadget guys are typically a little smaller. So will he have the sort of quickness and speed of a gadget guy at his size? That could be really fun. Although Oregon is the only team with an offer, they're obviously always hard to fight with. Now, we probably do need to find at least one quarterback just for the sole purpose of depth, even if they're not necessarily going to be a big time starter in the future. So there's a few 3-star guys we could go after. One in Juan Costanzo, Garrison Smith, who's a dual threat guy. Never hurts to get one that's an athlete either, in like Maurice Enigbare. I added both of these quarterbacks to my board, and immediately Garrison Smith has the playing time deal breaker because there's other guys that I'm pursuing. So bye, Garrison. There goes your chance to play on a top 25 team, I guess. Wide receiver, obviously not that much of a need anymore, but it is at least a little bit of a need, and it never hurts to keep bringing in high quality players. Now for Juan Costanzo, even though I've already offered him a scholarship, I'm gonna scout him a little bit with the remaining 30 points I had. Medium accuracy is a 76. I mean, that'll play for a true freshman. I mean, obviously it won't play. So we're still ranked 15th in the country. UCLA with another win, this time over Boise State. They are 7-0, 5-0 in conference. We are 6-1, 4-0 in conference. So obviously the two front runners currently, UCLA and Hawaii, 5-0, 4-0 respectively. USC, the team I kind of thought was going to run away with the conference this year, is 2-2. Stanford and Arizona State are both in the mix. I wouldn't count out teams like SMU and USC, being that they only have 2 conference losses. I would say that about Utah as well, except for that we have a win over them, obviously. I would say Arizona State and USC are probably the 2 scariest teams in terms of stealing our spot in the conference championship. Let's go ahead and advance the week though. So we do get a commitment from Eric Kurtz, kind of like I predicted. Big time ad for the O-line, as Oregon's visit, like I said, was just a week too late. That frees up another 100 points. Let's go ahead and finish scouting Costanzo. Only 85 throw power is pretty brutal. The accuracies are not bad though. He is a pure pocket passer type. Depending on how he could develop, I could see him becoming a decent player, though I'm not overly impressed. But let's go ahead and throw some points on Enigbare and Costanzo. We do jump to 7th on Rashawn Ham's list. We gained a ton of influence as well. Man, we're gonna have to back out on Jabari Haywood probably as well. There's really just nothing I can do here to compete against these teams. I mean, we have a really good hard sell, it looks like. So I'll switch to that, assuming it's this. Could also be clocked in. I don't think I have a chance either way, so I probably have to just take a shot in the dark on one of these. Our best one is campus personality. My guess would be that it's clocked in. I feel like most of the time, players that want playing style, playing time also want to go pro. I'm gonna guess on clocked in. I think we're gonna lose him anyway. So in my mind, it's worth a shot for a week. We're gaining the most influence on Cole Shipman, a tight end. Florida and Utah appear to both be gaining on us very slightly for Parker Incombe. If we could get him scheduled for a visit, we could more or less confirm his commitment. And we are now in a recruiting battle for Nigel Reens. We are in first on James Plummer, but now Oregon is gaining the most influence by a lot. And our hard sell for him is a D, an F, and a B. Freed up the 40 points to schedule Parker for a visit. I think that the game against Washington State is more or less a free dub. I've probably just jinxed myself by saying that. That is the following week. If we win that game, that would essentially guarantee his commitment. Getting 4-star O lineman is always huge. But now let's talk about our next opponent, the Arizona Wildcats, who are 1-6, 0-4 on the season, recently moving from the Big 12 to the Pac-12, and how the mighty have fallen. 72 overall. That might be the worst overall in this new Pac-12. Let's see if that 72 overall has any actual merit. Max McKee, that is a name I'm familiar with. Why am I familiar with Max McKee? McKee was the starter at Arizona last year and honestly had a great year. 4,000 yards, 31 touchdowns, 10 picks. But he has been benched for Deron Winery. And I gotta be honest, I don't know if I see why, other than the arm strength. McKee is super accurate, just has a noodle of an arm. Jared Fasano is their #1 halfback, then Dylan Jewell. At wide receiver, David Rubio is the top guy, not great speed. Lorenzo Hester has 93 speed. And is the O-line any good? Not really. Mid to low 70s and even one guy in the 60s. By the way, it is week 10. We can now see the CFP top 25. And for whatever reason, we have leapfrogged UCLA. Here's a look at the way too early CFP bracket. We are not here. In all honesty, this is an Arizona team we should be crushing. Anything less than that would be a disappointment. This game may also be an opportunity for Kevin Tryon to get his name back in the Heisman race. He has fallen out of the top 5 in the last couple of weeks after appearing there briefly. Matthew Boss, by the way, 190 yards away from having a 1,000-yard season. Tryon will look to throw. He's going to step up, actually. He's going to take off, running past the ref and sliding down at the Arizona 44. 1st and 10, Demarius Eddy in the game, and it's play action. Tryon tries to release it quickly, but will take a sack. Matthew Boss back in the game for the 2nd and 15. Tryon scrambling, throwing on the run, will get it to Carrera, and it's a 1st down for Hawaii. From the 27, more play action. Throwing is Tryon, wide open is Gupta. I feel like that was a good enough ball for Gupta to catch. Don't know if he lost it in the sun or something. Maybe it was a bit more overthrown than I thought. That should have been 6. Handoff. Matthew Boss looking for a 6 of his own. Breaks the 1st tackle. Goes down at the 9, 1st and goal. From the 9, Tryon hands Eddy, and Demarius Eddy will get 2. 2nd and goal from the 7. Kevin Tryon scrambling and cannot juke out the QB spy they left on him. We've got ourselves a 3rd and goal from the 5. Tryon wide open is Matthew Boss. He's completely on his own out here. Touchdown for the man in charge. They forgot about him out of the backfield, and he is a great receiving back. So I don't know how you forget about a guy like him. Touchdown Rainbows. So here comes the Arizona offense. Their #1 weapon is Jared Fasano, but he will not get the 1st carry as down goes Nwaneri. That was Rodney Mayo on the sack. He is not on the field for this next play, though, as it is a 2nd and 17. Back to pass and quick throw over the middle. That is caught and gets a pickup of about 11 to make it a 3rd and 6. That is DeJuan Prude on the reception, the tight end 1 for this team. Fasano not in the game. That is CJ Sampson in the backfield. Play action to him under pressure, and down goes the quarterback. I don't know who got credit for it. There were many Hawaiians there. 4th down Arizona. From the 38, 1st and 10. Tryon looking to throw. Just going to dump this for Wilbur. Can't make anybody miss, but it's still a solid pickup of 6. On 2nd and 4. Tryon hands off to Boss. Matthew Boss into some open space. Barrels for a 1st down. From the 48 now, Tryon. Back to pass. Wide open man. Oh, he's hit as he threw. He had Wilbur by himself on the slot fade. That was going to be the easiest pitch and catch for either of those 2 players. Unfortunately, the rush got home. Tryon now scrambling, throwing for Wilbur, who's going to be close to a 1st. They don't quite give it to him. 3rd down in inches from the 38. Handoff. Matthew Boss gets it. Demarius Eddy checks in. Tryon back to throw again. Wide open man on the run. It's Wilbur again. Nice juke move. Gets him to the 13. Matthew Boss, the back. Matthew Boss, the carry. Blocking was honestly pretty good. It's a pickup of 4. Matthew Boss already with 1 touchdown on the day, looking for another. And we will get it to the man in charge. And he will try to run over one. He's brought down at the 9. 3rd and 6. Tryon scrambling. Open man is Kiaris Burrow. Touchdown, Rainbow Warriors. The offense is clicking right now. 1st and 10, Arizona. Looking for their first down of the day as we approach the end of the first quarter. From the 30, completely empty for Nwaneri. He will throw over the middle. That is caught by Prude, and he's brought down at the 46. Juan Prude, the tight end, appears to be the favorite target so far for Nwaneri. And it is a handoff up the middle for Sampson, brought down after a pickup of 4. Fasano back in the game on 2nd and 6. But Nwaneri will go to the air, and this is caught for a first down. Nice snag by David Rubio. 1st and 10. Throw over the middle to start the second quarter. That is completed for a first down. This time it's the other tight end, DeMar Anger. Nice drive coming together for the Wildcats. 1st and 10 at the 20. Nwaneri got his team looking nice on this drive. Fetusila Tolu with some pressure, though. A loss of 8. 2nd down after the loss. From the 28. Nwaneri with time this time. Corner route caught. Put someone in a spin cycle. It's Jamerson who gets thrown around, and it's DeJuan Prude in for 6. Touchdown, Wildcats. 14-7. Arizona not going to go quietly despite being 1-6. Fake toss. Tryon scrambling, and he's going to take off, and he'll pick up 8 on 2nd and short. Tryon hands Boss. Matthew Boss, nothing there. 3rd down. On 3rd and short. Tryon gonna scramble here to the right side, throwing off his back foot for Randy Wilbur. 1st down. There may genuinely not be anybody better in college football than Kevin Tryon when throwing off platform. Handoff, Boss on 1st and 10. Matthew Boss will find the edge, turns it upfield, and gets another first down. From the 36, Tryon, more play action. Scrambling, doesn't really have anything. Gonna throw a crazy one. It's nearly completed to Wilbur. On 2nd down, Tryon hands Boss. Good blocking downfield for Matthew Boss, who trucks over one defender, falling forward to the 16. Under 8 minutes left to play in the half. Tryon gonna roll, gonna take off, and he's gonna dive down at the 8. 2nd and 2, more play action. Tryon rolling, still rolling. He will get the first down. He heads out of bounds at the 4. On 1st and goal, more play action. Boss picks up a nice block throw back in zone. Carrera. Touchdown, Rainbow Warriors. Josh Carrera wide open in the back of the end zone. Comes down with it for 6. Maybe he's a better receiver than I give him credit for. It seems like this Arizona defense is not going to be able to stop us, so it's on their offense to try to keep up. And will they be able to do that on the first play of the drive? No, it's a pickup of about 10. For a moment, I thought I gave that a crazy commentator's curse, as this is handed off, but brought down in the backfield. Cam Bean brings down Fasano and then will head off the field with some type of injury. Seems like we haven't called Cam Bean's name a lot this season. Gets the play there. This is going to be caught for a first down for Arizona. 6 minutes left in the half. The Wildcats get the football at the end of the half. So in a perfect world, I think that they would extend this drive to last the rest of the second quarter, score, and then get the ball back. That, of course, is a perfect world. That is not the world we are in, but perhaps they'll make that happen. 2nd and 1. Handoff will not lose yardage. No, it will anyway. He spun out of the first tackle, but now Sampson, slow to get up. Seems like his ankle is bothering him. Sampson ended up losing 4 yards. Now Fasano back in the game, and it's a 3rd and 5. Nwaneri to throw, open man, and this is caught for a first down. DeJuan Prude, by the way, 5 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown so far today. I feel like normally this team doesn't get burnt so badly by tight ends, but Prude has given us the business. And he's going to get another reception here, just sitting in the open areas of the field. On 2nd and 1, Nwaneri with time, stepping up now. He's going to throw this one away. 3rd down. From the 36, it's a handoff, and Fetusila Tolu is right there to meet Fasano. No gain. In fact, it'll lose a couple. This is a 55-yarder, nearly straight on. He's going to miss it. Wide to the right. It is no good. Had plenty of leg. He just pushed it. What is that walk? 4.5 minutes remaining. Now more scoring opportunities for the Rainbow Warriors. Nice little burst through the hole there from Matthew Boss. 2nd and 2, Clifton Cummins in the game. Tryon scrambling, and a rare misfire on the run from Kevin Tryon. Had Wilbur, who had a little bit of space and just missed it badly. Makes it a 3rd and 2. Tryon throws for Gupta. It's behind him, but Gupta bails him out. That is a tough catch for Ofisa Gupta. 3:16 remaining, 2nd and 10 from the 47. Play action. Tryon scrambling, throwing for Wilbur. Jump ball grab. 1st down. Up to the 26 now. Matthew Boss will get a carry, and he falls forward as he always does for 4. About to hit the 2-minute timeout. Tryon will take the snap though. And he looks to throw open is Gupta, and it's a free touchdown for the tight end Ofisa Gupta. Rainbow Warriors will extend their lead. I saw an injury timeout pop up there at the bottom. I didn't see who it was. I'm a little nervous it's Kevin Tryon because he did take a hit as he released it. Hawaii 28, Arizona 7. 2 minutes left to go in the half. Arizona, like I mentioned before, does get the football to start the 3rd quarter. Quick throw over the middle. That is caught by Rubio. 1st down, and now they're in a 2-minute drill. So they hurry it up to the line. Sampson back in the game after his injury. Waneri with time. He's going to scramble out to the left. He's going to take off. Brought down by Ricky Killings, who is way faster than him. Minute 37 remaining. They still have all 3 timeouts. Waneri, completed pass, 1st down. Where's this offense been? Drove down the field in no time flat. 1st and 10 from the 32. A minute 32 remaining. Waneri calling his shots, and then we'll look to throw. Quick pass over the middle is caught. Breaking tackles, brought down a yard shy of the 1st. 2nd and 1. Under pressure is Waneri, and this is completed to Prude. Just gets a couple yards, but that's enough for the 1st. And the Wildcats will use their 1st timeout. From the 19, Waneri, play action. Throwing wide open, man. He is brought down at the 1. There is no reason that man should have been that open. They might find their way into the end zone. And it's a handoff to Sampson. Doss will keep him out. Timeout used by Arizona. To be honest, I think they're being a little bit too trigger happy with the timeouts, as they're honestly leaving a bit of time on the clock for us. If they manage to get in, easier said than done. Droogsma on the blitz. 3rd and goal. Waneri, time, throwing outside into the end zone for 6. Touchdown, Jamie Turner. The Wildcats will get into the end zone with only 17 seconds remaining. And now, when they gain the football in the 3rd quarter, they could get back within a score. I was going to let it go to halftime, but a big carry for Matthew Boss means that one play could put us in field goal range. Depending on what Kevin Tryon can do, he's going to take a sack. And now we will let it go to halftime. 28-14, Hawaii in control. The offense really doing whatever it wants. But I wouldn't count the Wildcats out just yet. If they can manage to score to start the 3rd quarter, they're back within 1. 1st down from the 25. Waneri brings a man in motion. Double play action. Looks to throw and misses the mark. DeMarcus Doss was in man coverage there, which is always a bit of a concerning sight. Bit of a slow player. This is a wide receiver screen. Doss forces a fumble. It's recovered by the Rainbow Warriors. Ricky Killings falls on it. DeMarcus Doss forces it out. And the freshman, Ricky Killings, is the man to pick it up. Hawaii stabbing the Arizona faithful through the heart. That could have been a completely game-changing drive. And now the Rainbow Warriors take over deep in Arizona territory. That turnover is a huge shift in momentum. Like, it does not get much bigger of a shift. Boss on the carry. Man, no blocking there to the right side. 3rd and 11. Tryon. Back to pass. Wants Darren Finger. Has Darren Finger. 1st down for the Finger. Have not seen a lot of Darren Finger this season in general, I feel like. 1st and 10 from the 16. Another handoff for Matthew Boss. Good blocking by Randy Wilbur. And Matthew is in for 6. Great blocks thrown to the outside by Randy Wilbur, the star wide receiver, to get the star halfback in for 6. So that turnover is huge. Could have been 28-21 at the end of that drive. Now it is 35-14, a 14-point swing in favor of the Rainbow Warriors. 2nd and 3 from the 32. Bubble screen will pick up the first down. Tap makes the tackle. 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Fasano in the backfield. I feel like he has not gotten many touches despite being probably the best player on this offense, as Nwaneri has to throw this away. CJ Sampson, who I had written down as the halfback 3, I think has gotten more touches than Fasano. Throw over the middle for Prude, who has been the main man offensively today. Gets a first down. 8 for 94 and a touchdown for Prude, who is just killing us right now. Nwaneri, speed option, never pitched it. He's going to lose a yard. 2nd and 11, looking to throw. Nwaneri, incomplete. He wanted Prude again. Tap, good coverage. 3rd and 11 now. Nwaneri, Fasano to his left. Fasano stays into block, picks up a blitzer. Wide open, man. Where is Jawan Soliday going? David Rubio made him look stupid. You guys in the comments have noticed it as much as I have. Soliday really good deep down the field, but as soon as a wide receiver has to make a move, I feel like he is not the best corner on the team. But hey, if somebody's running a streak, Jawan Soliday is the guy to stop it. Hand off to Fasano, and maybe this is why they haven't been handing him the football. He'll lose a yard. 3rd down and 11. Nwaneri under pressure. Fetu is there. Backwards pass is caught by Fasano. It's going to lose 3 yards. 4th down. Arizona will settle for 3. Kick on its way. It is good. 35-17. So this is typically the point where I feel like I might just cut to the end if a game is, pretty far out of reach. But you guys said in the comments that you want to see the blowouts. So I'll put a timestamp on the screen here for those of you that don't want to see the blowouts. You can skip ahead to the end of the game if you want. This one probably not going to be super interesting the rest of the way, but if you guys want to hang out, you're more than welcome to. I've recently changed the way I'm recording the episodes. So now instead of pausing my recording pretty often, I end up just recording the entire thing because I don't really have a convenient way to pause. Basically, I used to record my audio and the gameplay audio and the gameplay all in one space. Now it's 2 separate spaces, so I end up having to sync it up, and it's just really annoying to pause both of them. So now I just record the whole thing, no pauses, so I'd just be sitting here silently probably if I weren't showing it to you guys. 2nd and 6, Tryon gonna scramble. He's gonna overthrow Gupta badly. 3rd and 6, Tryon back to pass. Under pressure, scrambling. Kevin Tryon throwing over the middle. He nearly got that back to Wilbur. 4th down. Arizona takes back over. I mean, they forced a punt away. It's not over by any means. Handoff Fasano. Good carry up the middle. And Fasano brought down at the 38, a pickup of about 18. 1st and 10. Quick throw. That is caught. And it'll pick up 4. Ricky Killings. Oh, no. He is holding that knee. Wait, that would be a tragic injury for this defense. I feel like he brings so much value. He's leading the team in tackles as a true freshman. Nwaneri throws. This is caught. Broken tackle. Emmanuel Tap saves 6. Zona switches to tempo. Now 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Throwing is Nwaneri. Incomplete. Forced out by Setterstrom. It's just a bruised knee for Killings. 3rd and 3. Nwaneri will hand this off. Hole up the middle. 1st down, Jared Fasano. I really do have my concerns about this defense. Like, this is not an offense that should be able to move the ball this easily. Typically, the defense was the strength of the team. I feel like this year is almost like a gap year for the defense while we wait for some guys to develop, as Fasano will rush his way up the middle. Now Fetu Silatolu is injured. So 2 of our biggest impact players, Ricky Killings, who is actually back on the field, by the way, and Fetu Silatolu have now suffered injuries in this game. Ricky with a big hit on Fasano. 2nd and goal from the 3 for Arizona. Nwaneri throws outside. It is caught. Sean Mallory is now injured. All kinds of gaps in the D-line now. Benzinger, normally a linebacker, is lined up as an edge rusher. It's a 3rd and goal. Throw, Nwaneri, caught, touchdown. It's DeJuan Prude. His 2nd one on the day, and that might be his 10th catch of the day as well. Arizona not completely out of this game. 1st and 10 from the 19. More play action, and a throw from Tryon is so far behind Burrow. Really do have my concerns about Kevin Tryon. I don't think there's any doubt that Darrell Gay is probably the better quarterback. Tryon just, you know, has this ability to create, which oftentimes it feels like we need, as Boss will pick up a first down off of a screen. 1/4 of action remaining. 1st and 10. Tryon throwing for Gupta. And Ofisa Gupta has a pickup of 6. From the 45 on 2nd down. Tryon rolling, throwing for Wilbur. It's just out of reach. And now it is a 3rd down and 4. Tryon, it's swatted at the line of scrimmage. He was looking for Matthew Boss. Wait just a minute. Arizona with any points on this drive would be back in it. Back within a score. Nwaneri has Fasano in the backfield, but will look to throw. Dumps this off. Rubio on the catch, brought down by Tui Kolovatu. Could I tell you why Tui is in coverage? I don't think I could, but there he was. 2nd and 7 from the 21. And it's a handoff to Fasano, getting some running room. Gets the first down. He had great blocking that entire time. Everywhere you look, the Rainbow Warrior was covered. Fetu back on the field as an edge, and he's clearly not feeling good. Nearly chases down Fasano. I'm going to bench Fetu. 2nd and 7, 9.5 minutes left to be played. Nwaneri under some pressure, but gets this off over the middle. Our pass coverage and our pass rush has just been so bad. And it's been the whole year that it's been like this. Coverage is always bad. The pass rush is always bad. Quick throws are far too easy to get off. Nwaneri stepping up, plenty of time, wide open man, he misses. All I'm saying is I don't think that Max McKee would have missed that throw. 2nd and 10, Nwaneri with time, blitz is picked up perfectly, overthrows Rubio. But now it's a 3rd and 10 from the 45. Nwaneri going deep, Soliday in coverage, and I'm telling you, there's nobody better on a deep ball than Jawan Soliday. 8.5 minutes left, still up 2 scores. 1st and 10 from the 32. Matthew Boss can't make a man miss. 2nd down and 13. Tryon scrambling, throwing for Clifton Cummins. Kevin Tryon keeps missing, even on the run, where he's at his best. So now on 3rd and 13, we'll have to go back to the air. So Tryon out of the gun. Gonna scramble out to the right, throwing. It is caught by Darren Finger. Now that is more like it from Kevin Tryon. 1st and 10 at the 49. More play action. Scrambling now to the left, throwing. It is caught again. This time Kiaris Burrow. Under 7 minutes remaining. Boss is the back. Matthew Boss will get the carry. And he will get a first down carry at that. 6 minutes remaining. Marius Eddy into the game. Tryon hands it to him. Eddy gets 3. 2nd and 7. Back to pass again. Tryon throwing, wants Finger. It is overthrown. 3rd and 7. Carrera in as a fullback. He will block for Boss. Not a good block from Carrera. 4th down. Kick from Acker is good. Just inside that left upright. And it's a 14-point lead for Hawaii. Now, the question is, are the Wildcats going to be able to make this football game interesting down the stretch? Still just a 2-score lead for Hawaii. Nwaneri throwing. This is incomplete. Soliday in coverage punches it away. 2nd and 10. Pancake block on somebody there, but somebody else gets home. I think that's Taekwon Wiley. That was Taekwon Wiley. Big fella lined up on the outside. Now he's in the interior, been moving around. 3rd and 16 from the 19. Wiley with more pressure. Taekwon Wiley with another sack. 2 on the day and on back-to-back plays. 4th and forever for Arizona. And of course, they have to go for it. 4th and 23 from the 12. Nwaneri with time. Going towards the corner. It is incomplete. James Pears in coverage. Forces the turnover on downs. 3rd and 9. Arizona has started to use timeouts. Tryon throwing for the corner. Darren Finger with a diving grab. What a catch. The defense gets fingered. Darren Finger, completely absent in our last win, has shown up a lot more here in this one. Now gets a touchdown grab for his efforts. 1st and 10 from the 25. Nwaneri Throws over the middle, dropped by Prude, who's been the most sure-handed guy all day. Hawaii 2 minutes and 48 seconds away from another victory on 2nd and 10. Nwaneri dumps this Fasano. Good tackle by James Pears. 3rd down and 12. Nwaneri running out of time. Wiley with some more pressure. And Fasano will make it a 4th and 9. So they are, of course, going for it. Nwaneri under pressure over the middle. Ricky Killings breaks it up, intended for Rubio. Game over. There you have it. Another victory in the Pac-12 for the Rainbow Warriors. We remain undefeated in conference. We end up dropping 50 on the Wildcats. 52 points in total. Phenomenal day for Matthew Boss. I feel like we kind of know what our team is at this point. We are a team that can bully lesser teams, but as soon as we play a decent offense, we tend to struggle. And especially if it's a decent offense and a good defense in the case of like Washington, for example. And the other game that comes to mind is, of course, Utah, who is a slightly worse opponent than us, but had a capable offense with a really good wide receiver 1. And yeah, we end up with a victory, but it wasn't like easy. I'm just scared we're gonna run into another team like Washington. That's kind of who I expect USC and UCLA are gonna be. And we're, just going to kind of get dog walked like we did against Washington. Here's a look at stats on the day. For the Rainbow Warriors, 5 passing touchdowns for Kevin Tryon, no picks. 248 yards, 61% completion percentage. On the ground, 21 attempts again for Matthew, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's now only, I think, 28 yards away from 1,000 on the season. We'll take a look in just a second. Tryon, not much on the ground today. Just trying to throw the football a bit more with him. Through the air, 5 for 77 for Wilbur, 4 for 56 and a tutty for Finger. Boss, Gupta, Burrow, and Carrera all with touchdowns. Defensively, Ricky Killings, despite missing some time and not feeling his best in the 4th quarter, still leads the team in tackles. DeMarcus Doss has 10 as well. Fetu with 5 tackles for loss, and he basically didn't play the second half. 2 sacks for Taekwon Wiley, a sack and a half for Fetu, 1 for Cooks, 1 for Mayo, a half for Benzinger, O'Keefe, and Mallory. No interceptions on the day, but we did force 2 fumbles. Dominic Cooks, DeMarcus Doss, both of them recovered by Ricky Killings. And now we will go ahead and advance the week with yet another victory under our belt. Matthew Boss, the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week. Somehow Ricky Killings was not the Defensive Player of the Week. We are now number 10 in the country. UCLA still right here with us, currently at 11th. They are 6-0 in conference. We are 5-0. Stanford is 5-1. Arizona State still with only 1 conference loss. USC is now 4-2 in the conference. By the way, UCLA has a 212 point differential. Have they just played nobodies all season? I mean, I wouldn't call most of these teams nobodies, but they're not exactly, the top teams in the conference, but they've just been dominating everyone. They have not allowed more than 14 points at any point this season. That is insane. Man, I hope we get to play this team this year. If we do, it would be in the Pac-12 championship, it would appear. They are dominant defensively. That Arizona team that we allowed 20 plus only got 6 against UCLA. Their average margin of victory is 26.5. That is disgusting. Before we end the episode, let's take a look at season stats. Kevin Tryon will hit 2,000 yards in the next game, 20 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Actually surprised the interception number is not higher with the way I play this guy. On the ground, Matthew Boss, 972. So he is 28 yards away from 1,000. And still with 4 games left in the regular season. He will almost certainly be hitting that in the next game. I am starting to get a little bit concerned about his career and season health. 9 touchdowns on the ground for him. Maybe for these next couple of games, we start leaning on Demarius Eddy a bit more to try to preserve Boss. The next episode does contain USC, but I absolutely do not think we need Matthew Boss at all against Washington State. I might even consider giving Matthew Boss a straight up rest day because it is a gauntlet for the final 3 games of the season. USC, Arizona State, SMU. Kevin Tryon has a little bit of work he'll have to do to reach 1,000 by the end of the year on the ground, but is on pace to do it. 610 receiving yards for Randy Wilbur, 6 touchdowns for him. Gupta has 5. He's also the second receiver in terms of yardage, then Burrow, then Finger. but it's really Randy Wilbur by a mile, basically double everyone else. Defensively, Ricky Killings leads in tackles with 78. Fetu Silatolu leads in tackles for loss with 16. Killings and Doss each have 11. Fetu also leads in sacks with 6.5. It is unfortunate to me that Taekwon Wiley is already 5th on the team in sacks after only getting 2 in the last game. We only have 3 interceptions on the year: Dallas Benzinger, DeMarcus Doss, and Frank Putasi. We have no defensive touchdowns. Our leader in deflections is Emmanuel Tapp with 6. Putasi has 3, Soliday has 3. We have 5 different forced fumbles from Putasi, Doss, Rowe, Silatolu, and Cooks. Ricky Killings recovered 2 fumbles in that last game. The other 2 have been recovered by O'Keefe and Bean. Not a lot of field goal attempts in general for Phil Acker, but only 63%, 7 for 11. I am looking into a new kicker. I just think the accurate archetype is not it, because at any sort of distance, it is just brutally difficult to hit kicks with this guy. And then I think Max Harvin has been awesome. 8 punts inside the 20. Only 1 touchback. It's been a great year for Max Harvin, I'd say. I'd also be curious to see if anyone on our team is up for any awards. The first one I've run into is the Doak Walker Award. Matthew Boss is 3rd. That appears to be the only award we are even mentioned in. That's crazy. Here's the Heisman watch, by the way. Still no Hawaiians. I imagine if you could see the guys just off the top 5, that Tryon would be somewhere in the top 10. I also think that Matthew Boss would maybe be here. But a couple familiar names: Luis Galipo, formerly at SMU, is having a great season with Florida State. Yeah, career year for Galipo. 76 receptions, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. Is going to end up with more receptions. Already has way more yards and 1 more touchdown. So an incredible year. Good choice by him to go to FSU. And then there's Lee Arma, who we know just dominated us, on pace for more receptions, more yards, and more touchdowns. I did not realize he was a Boise State transfer. And the last thing I'll mention before we end the episode, I did lose out on Jabari Haywood. I think everyone saw that coming. But I did also get locked out of Juan Costanzo, which I was a little surprised by. But we will remove him from the board. Not much of a need there. Unfortunate to lose Haywood, but we'll remove him from the board as well. We've got 135 points to play with to start the next episode. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and for the continued support. The next couple episodes are going to be really fun. I think the Washington State game is a very obvious win, but then the last 3 games of the season, like I said, are an absolute gauntlet. We've got USC, the best team on paper in the conference, at least the best roster. Arizona State, they're 6-2, 4-1 in conference. And then SMU, who's been our main rival really the past 2 seasons. Should be a very fun end of the season and a big time test, I think, against much better competition. It wouldn't be entirely shocking to me if the Rainbow Warriors lose the final 3 games of the season, or if we win out. I really think that all 3 of these games are essentially a coin flip. So stay tuned for those. Those will be out on Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you guys sticking with me. We'll be back on that content schedule, and expect MLB The Show content coming up here pretty soon. If you made it all the way to the end of the episode and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot. I will see you guys in the next episode, where Hawaii will begin their final 3 games of the season.